So thanks. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming to the FreeToastHost training. My name is Amy Susi. I've been in Toastmasters since 2011. I'm currently the district finance manager, and I'm also the president of the Farmington Toastmasters Club. I'm conducting this training as my DTM project, and I'd like to acknowledge the team that helped me put this training together. You can see their names here: Kathy Kittle, Selena Tourget, Jim Alt, and Ashok Deb. I came up with this training because I wanted to share some small tips and tricks I learned while exploring my club site and some other club sites that I found, with the goal of making your club site more searchable and appealing to prospective members. When we've asked guests how they found our club, most of them have said they found it by searching Google. So it's important to have a page that contains the right keywords and grabs attention. For this training tonight, I'm assuming that your club already has a FreeToastHost site, but if you don't have a site, I'll be sharing a link at the end of the presentation to direct you on how to get one. If you have any questions as we go along, please put them in the chat and I'll take them at certain points during the presentation. First, a little basic information about FreeToastHost that you might not know. It's a free website hosting platform, but it's not supported by Toastmasters International. So if there's something you need help with and you try to contact someone there, they will not be able to help you. There is a dedicated team of Toastmasters that voluntarily maintain a support site for FreeToastHost that you can contact for help. Again, I will share a link for that at the end of the presentation. So this will be our agenda for tonight. You can see we will touch on website settings, the meeting agenda, the calendar, file manager, custom links, membership management, and then end with those links to the FreeToastHost support. This training is not meant to be comprehensive, so it's not going to go over everything on the site, but it's going to focus on some main sections that are likely what people use the most often and where a little extra explanation might be helpful. Many of the sections on the site are pretty self-explanatory, and some of them even have some instructions, so I didn't feel they needed to be reviewed here. And when you go into your site and you're updating it and changing it, feel free to experiment and explore what's available, as you can always undo any changes that you make. First, I wanted to share a couple examples of front pages of FreeToastHost sites that I found. The front page is where I think clubs should spend most of their effort when setting up their site. Sites that have pictures with members and have some videos, interesting colors and fonts, and current information are ones that will attract potential members the most. As you can see here, we have some nice pictures of members. There's a video here, some highlighted current events coming up. Adding these features isn't too difficult, and we will get into that in the next part of this training. So now we'll actually go into a FreeToastHost site and walk through some of these sections. So let me share a different screen. Okay. So I'm going to use my club, Farmington Toastmasters Club, as the demo. And the first thing I will mention is that the site will look a little different depending on if you are a visitor, meaning a non-member, if you are a member, or if you are an administrator. A visitor will only see what's available on the main page. That's right here. and the main menu. So they'll be able to click on things on the main menu. They can see the members only menu, but they won't be able to click in anything. Logging in as a member will give you access to these links. And you can see that it contains things like your agenda, club email addresses, member directory, and member downloads and things like that. Logging in as an administrator will give you access to the whole site, and including the website settings where you can make the changes to the homepage and things like that. Tonight, I will log in as an administrator so that you can see all the options available. If you don't know what the club administrator login information is, hopefully one of your officers knows, and you can get it from them if you need to use it. So I will log in as a site administrator, and you'll see that button here. Let me log in. I think I know the login. Okay. All right. And so when you're an administrator, you can see this button called Launch as Admin Console. I'm going to click on that right now. And in here, you can see that there are several tabs, and there are certain modules that you can look at. I'm not going to go through every single one of these tonight, but I'll go through some of them. We'll start with website settings. On this basic settings tab, there's a place where you can add the name of your club, and that'll appear on the banner of your homepage. There's also the option to add a description of your club and some keywords. Now, these two things will not be shown on the site or the homepage anywhere. They're just used as metadata and used by search engines to help people find your club. So I would recommend, under the keyword section, picking some words that you think people would be typing in when they're searching for your club. For example, public speaking, leadership, Toastmasters. Also, maybe where you're meeting. Like, we meet in Farmington, we meet in a library. People want to gain confidence. You could add that as a word as well. All those types of things people might be typing in to search for a Toastmasters club. Also here, you can change your website alias. So when you get your FreeToastHost site set up, the standard format of the website address is your club number .toastmastersclub.org. You can see up here. Certain clubs might have a very long number in their internet address. So you might want to change it to something else. So here we have Farmington as our alias. So if I start typing Farmington and there's toastmastersclub.org, you'll see it brings me to the same site. But now it actually has our club name on it. So you can do something like that. Okay. Moving on to the Appearance tab. On this tab, I want to focus on the option of changing background and text colors on the site. And then we will talk about the menu links. First, for the colors, you can see that there are many options on changing background and font colors on different parts of the site. Like, for example, here I changed our website background to the Toastmasters blue color, and you can see that on the side here. Also, we've changed our members only menu to just a light yellow. So we didn't go too crazy on our site, but whatever your club decides to do, you can change background colors over here. And there's lots of options to choose from. You can even create your own color. You can also upload, instead of just a color, you can upload a background. So down here, there's some built-in backgrounds you can play with. So, and it'll show you a sample of it here if you wanted to have that as a background. Or you can upload your own image if you have something you want to choose. And down here at the bottom of this tab are menu links. So you'll see over here, these are the menu links it's talking about. When your FreeToastHost site is set up, you'll have a bunch of default links that show up here, which are all these links here. You can choose to hide some of those links if you don't want them all there. You could, maybe you think it looks too cluttered with all the links. Maybe you think some of them aren't really helpful. So my club decided, and when you don't want to link, you click it. So clicking it hides it. So that's just an option there for you as well. Any questions at this point? Okay, moving on. The next tab is the homepage tab, and this is where the fun happens. This is where you can get creative and add some personality to your page. This page has a section where you can add your text, your videos, your pictures, and it'll show up on that home page of your site. You can see here how this area to work with is a little small. You can make it bigger by clicking on this button here, which is maximize. So if I click on that, it'll make it a lot bigger. And you can see it's much easier space to work in. And you can see we've added a couple of pictures. There's a video down here. We have some text, some links. And you can do all this by choosing the appropriate icons above here. So for example, you want to add a picture, there is an image button here. You click on the image, and actually adding a picture is a two-step process. First, you need to upload the image to the site server, and then you need to send it to the server. So you'll see here on this upload tab, you click choose file. So it'll bring up your Explorer tab here, so you can choose a picture, which I guess I can choose a picture. Let's see, what picture should I choose? I will choose, oh, I don't have any good pictures to choose. Let's see. Can I one there? No, don't. 1 second, I can find one. Well, I already have this one, but I'll just show you how it is. So there's my file, and then I hit send to the server. And success, it found the picture. All right, so once you do that, you can go to the image tab, browse the server, and that was the Farmington Library picture, and there it is right there, the Farmington Library. So that's where I can choose it and add it to my site if I want. You can also change the width and height of it so that it fits into your page the way you want it. So right now it's like huge, so I can make it a little smaller like that. You can actually see the picture. All right, I'm going to cancel out of that. Yes. I'm going to close that. All right, to add a link is a similar process. You can click on the link tab, which is over here. And pretty simple, you find your link that you want, type in the URL, and then place it wherever you want on your homepage. And again, same thing with the video. There's a couple options up here. You can embed a YouTube video. You can embed media from external sites, Flash video. I mean, you can just look at all these icons up here and see what your options are. And then once you add all your text, your pictures, your videos, to get out of this tab, you find that similar button again, like your maximize, although now it's on minimize. So you would click in there, and then you would click save to save everything. Oops. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? Okay. Next tab I'm going to go over is the meeting info, directions. So this looks pretty similar to that homepage tab. You have this section here that you can work in. Again, you can maximize it. You can add information. So this is specific to your meeting location and any information about your meeting you want to share. So the time you meet, the day you meet, where you meet, directions on how to get there, who to contact, pictures, things like that. So you can add all that here. And then there's also the option of adding a map that people will see. And it tells you here, so it'll have a Google map, and it gives you instructions here on how to add your Google map. And the last tab I'm going to go here on the website settings is this access settings. I just want to touch on this because this is where the administrator can pick certain areas of the site that certain officers are allowed to access. So for example, this website settings module that we were just working in, members won't be able to see it, but if there's a specific member that wants to be able to change website settings, or is really good with websites and might be able to create your homepage for you, you can select that person to have access to that module when they log in as a member. They wouldn't need the admin password for that. Currently, it looks like only an officer can have that ability. So I don't know if there are plans in the future to allow members to have that ability. That could be a question for the support team. Okay, so I'm going to leave website settings now and move on to agendas. Is there any questions about anything yet before I move on to agendas? Okay, I must be doing a good job. No question. All right, so your agendas are going to be on your members only tab. So you have your meeting agenda here. Click it there. I know some clubs don't use agendas, but our club does. So you can see that we already have agenda templates set up here. We already have all the roles and the times and things like that where people can sign up. If you do not have an agenda set up, you can create one here by clicking on this plus sign, create new agenda. And again, you kind of just follow the prompts and it'll kind of lead you how to set up an agenda. There are some agenda templates in here. It looks like there's some system sample templates that may come with the when you sign up. And we have some that our club had created in the past that we could always use. But if you're creating it from scratch, you would just select your meeting date. So I'm just going to do kind of a test meeting here. So I'll do one for Friday, let's say. I'll call it test meeting. Venue. So there's options you can do for a venue. So we could say it's Zoom only. And once I save that, I'll be able to, it says now the agenda has been created. You can modify the agenda items. So now I can go to agenda items and start adding items. So for example, I know my meeting, I want to have a Toastmaster. So I can start typing Toastmaster. If you've created other agendas before, you'll probably have some saved roles in here already. But if you don't, you can still just click type Toastmaster and that will be it. And then you can add a description of the role here. We have this description added here. You can assign a duration of minutes for that role. So you'll give them 3 minutes. And then some other options for the role. If it's something members can sign up for, it shows up on the agenda, things like that.
Amy, if I can, what's handy is once you get an agenda that's great, you can just use that as a template and just keep repeating it.
Yep, I was going to get to that. Yep.
Okay.
So we are adding that item. If I hit save here, you can see the agenda is getting started. It's already got the Toastmaster on it, 3 minutes. And you can add other agenda items as you want. So let's say we want a speaker. Do the same thing. We have speaker 1, the description of a speaker. We'll give them 7 minutes, the typical speech, save that. And you'll see we have those 2 roles now. And then you could just keep going, keep adding items until you fill up your whole meeting, save it, and you'll have your meeting. So I'm going to close this for now, and then you'll be able to see. It'll just update here. And we'll be able to see my March 6th meeting. If I click on it here, you'll see there's my short little meeting with the Toastmaster and 1 speaker. And yeah, and like David was saying, you can, I think it'll be in there as a template now. So March 6th, there's my March 6th. If I really like that, I could create it again and duplicate it. And just change, so I can bring it up and then just change the date, time, and stuff like that. Okay. All right.
We do have a question in the chat.
Okay. What's the question?
Shirley says someone had set up an automated message that changed the date to the next meeting in the main heading section, and I undid that to announce our open house. I want to figure out how to get it back to the automated setting.
Okay, so is that, so like if I choose an agenda here, I don't want to.
If the question needs to wait until later, that's okay too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So I'm just trying to think if like in here with the date in the description part or in the actual setup part. I don't know.
Shirley?
It's in the setup part on the main page.
Okay. So you're not able to change this date?
On the home page. When we were in the site administration, and I apologize, I've been trying to figure it out for a couple months now.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe if we have time at the end, maybe we can
Okay.
go into that, but
Thank you.
We'll move on for now.
Okay.
Also, Annette has a question.
I have a question also.
Sure.
In the saved meetings, so if you go back to that for a minute.
Into here?
Yeah, so when I make another agenda,
what is going on?
and yeah, going back to where it showed the list of not that list, but the list of agendas you can choose from. Yes, there. Yes. Okay. So selecting an agenda template. So I end up always just using the previous meeting's template, and I can't remember how to set templates such as at the top where it has 21 to 22 agendas, 24 to 25 agendas. And I must have said it in the past, but I can't remember how to do that, because that way it saves all of your, Amy, Susie, your credentials, and then the treasurer is so and so in their credentials. And it saves it in there. Does that make sense?
Sort. So you're not sure how to create one of these templates.
Right. So if I, wanted to make, another template for the 25 to 26 year, and I can't recall how to do that. So if you clicked on that one, it has like all the old officers up at the top of the front meeting page.
Oops. Okay. Oh, so, all right. So if I save, wait, I don't want to do so February 11th. That's our meeting date. I'll do like the 15th. All right. So if I did something like that. Oh, oh yeah, February. Yeah. That wouldn't make sense, would it? I'm going to do it over. Let's do it. 15th. All right. I do something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember how to do that.
All right. That is a good
I
question.
think you have to click on set or change the name of the template. Or was the agenda templates? You gotta do it in, I think, in the or maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a
I
place to
was
do
in the
that.
admin section. I was thinking it's there, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't see an option to do that. It looks like you can choose it, but it doesn't look like you can change it. Like there's no little buttons here to change the name or something. Interesting. Very good question. All right, that could be a question for the support team. Yeah, there's no
It's in
option
the
here.
admin. It's in the admin section under meeting agenda templates. So
Oops,
not in there. You
sorry.
got to go to the
Okay,
admin.
so
Launch
the
the
admin
admin.
console.
Yep.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
And
Admin
then go
console.
to
Meeting agenda settings.
yep. And the last tab is agenda templates. Right there.
Oh,
So you select the meeting and you set the name of the template and you hit the plus sign.
Oh, create new. All right, so there's your name. Okay, that's where you can choose a new
okay.
name.
All
Thank you,
right.
David.
Thank you.
I've dabbled a bit.
Agenda templates. Okay. Thank you.
Training a trainer. All right.
We learn together.
Yep. All right. So I wanted to go through a few of these buttons over here on the agendas. So the next one I wanted to go about was the print icon. So you can print your agendas. There's a few formats or layouts that you could choose from. Our club typically just uses the FreeToastHost standard one, but you can play with any of these and see which one you like. There are options you can choose when you're printing it out. So if you want to include the meeting description, the role times and descriptions, there's even an option to include member photos. If your members have added their photos to the site, you could include them. And I think it makes the agenda look kind of neat when you have all the pictures there. So those are options you can choose. If your speakers are adding their introductions when they into the speaking portion, you can print out the speaker introductions as a separate page so that the Toastmaster can have that and introduce the speakers as they come up. So once you choose your selections here, you just say okay, and then it just shows you how to the format that to print it out as. Okay. Next option I wanted to share was the meeting reports, which is this button here. So there are a couple reports you can run based on the agenda. There is a meeting role report, speech report, and attendance report. So these could be helpful in certain situations. So for example, let's click on the role report. I'll choose myself and I'll just use the current Toastmasters year and see. So this will list all the roles that I have done since the July 1st start of this Toastmasters year. So you can See that they're all printed out. Been an evaluator, speaker, a Toastmaster, things like that. Now this can be helpful for looking at, if you want to sign up for a role and you're wondering, oh, what role haven't I done in a while? So you can look here and see if there's something you haven't done in a while. Or I know with the new pathways requirements where you have to fill certain roles for levels, you can look here and see, if you forgot to fill it in as you were doing the role, you can come back in here and say, oh, okay, I did do that role a couple meetings ago. So yeah, I can just confirm that I did fill that role.
And I know that my VP education uses that. We actually backfill it. So even after the meeting, if someone decides, oh, they took an eye counter because it was open or that person didn't show up, that way they can look at it and see what they did. And especially putting in the speeches and putting them in correctly with the actual pass and numbers. Not only does it change your agenda times if needed, but it's a good record, again, of what they did to try to match it up, which sometimes is a challenge. So
yeah, it's only going to be as accurate as your agendas are. So yeah, if things change, that always happens in a meeting. Someone doesn't show up or you didn't have a role filled until the meeting. If your VP, it's good to make sure your VP goes back in and does enter that in after the meeting to give people credit for that. Similarly, with the speech report, I'll look at myself again. Again, this is a cool way to just see speeches you gave, when you gave them. So I could be like, oh, when was the last time I gave a speech? Oh, I didn't give one since last November. Oh, I better sign up for a speech. Or, just see where you're at, which level you did, and things like that. And then there's also an attendance report, which again would need to be, you need to make sure that you are noting that on these agendas for this to be accurate as well. You can see that there's yeses or nos if you've missed a meeting. I think they could make this report a little better so you don't have all this white space, but that's just me. Okay. And so I think those are all the buttons I wanted to go through on the agenda, because the other ones are pretty self-explanatory. There's an email, the agenda, which just brings up an email link that you can just email to all the members, type in any message you want to add, and it'll just automatically send the agenda to your members. And then, deleting agendas and editing agendas over here. Okay. All right. Any other questions about agendas I could answer before we move on? All right. Moving on to the club calendar. So that's over here. It's on the main menu. And this is visible to non-members. So they can click on this if they're visiting your site and see what kind of events that your club has. I'm not going to spend too much time on the calendar. There's a couple things I do want to point out. First is that if you do use the agenda feature, it's going to automatically add that meeting to your calendar, as you can see here. So anything in blue has come from that agenda meeting setup. So you see this test meeting that I set up for the 15th. And this one here, this test, they both showed up here as club meetings because I added them on the agenda page. You can also, a member can add a meeting or an event. As you can see here in the gray color, it's a member added event. So a member of ours added that the Division C contest is happening on the 14th. So they added that. And then there's administrator added events. So I am logged in as the administrator. So if I felt like adding an event, it would show up and it would be colored in red. Next thing I want to share is that there is this month, week, day view at the top. This is helpful because if you just click on a date and say, okay, the 19th, I want to put an event in. You can put the event name and description in here, but there's no way to put a time. So if it's not an all-day event, this option really isn't good to do all the information that you need. It does give you the option to have an event make the event weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, though, so that's a good option. If you wanted to create an event with a specific time, you would choose either this week or day option up here. So if I choose week, you can see here it's giving me a week version. Let's say I wanted to add something on the Thursday at 11. So you click in here, you can see how it highlights the actual time. I'll add the event. Just do a test. Create event. And you see there's the event there. And I could make it an hour, an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I could just do things like that right there. Similarly, on the day tab, you can do the same thing. So you can navigate to the specific day you want, click in there and create your event. Okay. So that was pretty much it for the calendar. Not too much more to share on that, but just wanted to make you aware of the options there. Next section I wanted to review is the file manager. So if I go back into this admin console, under the modules here, there's something called file manager. I'll click on that. And this is where you can upload files to your site, and you can share them either with the public, only the members, or only the officers. So some files you might want to upload here could be meeting rules and descriptions and the scripts that people could use during the meeting. You could upload information about pathways. If you have an executive committee meeting where you take minutes, you can upload minutes and things like that. So again, kind of straightforward. Once you have the file you want, it's on your computer. You'll just select the file to upload on this button here. You'll click the file you want, and it'll appear here. There is an option. There are the options of changing the file description to make it look a little neater. Like for example, this file has the underscores, it has the .xlxx. Maybe you don't want all that. You just want the actual title. Make it something a little more neat like this, without the underscores and the .xls thing. So you can just change that. You can also assign the access, public, members only, officers, hidden, although I'm not sure why you want hidden. You're uploading a document to be seen, so I don't know why you'd want it hidden. And if you want to organize your files, you can create some folders to put them in. So our club has created a few folders to organize our files in. So we have some general information, meeting forms. So that's, like I said, the scripts for each role would be in there, our meeting minutes, and then anything we think would apply to a new member. So once these are all uploaded, and you go into, all right, so I'm going to go over here to the public downloads. So this is a non-member seeing what these files look like. So these are the ones, out of all those files we have there, these are the ones that a non-member can see. So you can see that there is this folder, general info, and then there's a few files in there that they can see. And you would see something similar for the members as well. They would just probably have more documents and more folders in there. Any questions about that? Okay. Moving on to custom web pages and links. So I'm going to go back into the admin console. We have, where is it? Custom web pages. So this is where you can add a new page to your site, or you could add additional links into your main menu to other places that you want people to go to that aren't already included. So for example, we have a page, and then we also have several links that we've added. So there's this Farmington Toastimonials that we have. So all you would do is you have this similar space that we've seen before where you work in. So again, you could expand it, create whatever you want on your site. So these this here is just a bunch of quotes from current and past members about why they joined Toastmasters, what they get out of it. We just wanted to share that with non-members to give them some inspiration for joining. So we created a page with a bunch of these quotes. We gave it a name. So this is what the link will say, Farmington Toastimonials. And you'll see that, after we save and close it, you'll see our main menu. There's something called Farmington Toastimonials. If we click on that, it's going to bring us to that page. Similarly, if you wanted to add a link, a custom link, for example, we wanted a link to the District 53 website. It's as simple as just copying the link of the site. Again, just adding a title that you want. So it's the District 53 link. Once you save and close that, you'll see there's a District 53 link here. You click on it, it brings you to our District 53 website. Any questions about that? Okay. All right, so the last section I'm going to touch on is the membership management. So again, in the admin console, there's this membership management module. Oh, and I'm going to actually go back to my slides for this because there's member information such as emails and phone numbers. So since this is being recorded, I didn't want to share their personal information. So I'm just going to show it on slides instead to protect their information. So let me just change my screen back to the slides. Give me 1 second while I figure out how to do this. All right, I'll go back to my slides. Okay. All right, so this is what it will look like when you open up membership management. You will see it has several tabs in it. Again, so looking at the members tab. So when you're entering members into Toastmasters International site, it does not automatically flow into your FreeToastHost site. So you will have to add them again manually into FreeToastHost. If they were already a prospect or a guest, you might have their information already because there's also prospect and guest tabs that look like this, and they have similar information, a name, an email, and a phone. The only difference between these sites and the members tab is that there's this follow-up column. If you click on the follow-up tab, this will come up. And so this will help you keep track on any people who visited your club and to make sure that you're following up with them, seeing if they want to come back and try to keep their interest in the club. And hopefully they'll keep coming back and want to join eventually. So you can choose the person that you followed up with. You can say, how did I follow up with them? Through an email, a phone call, any notes that you took, like, oh, they said they're going to attend this meeting and things like that. And then you can run some reports on that if you want. So there's a non-member follow-up report that you could run just to see how you're doing on following up. Also, like I said, if you have a guest that eventually becomes a member, there's an option to move them to the members list, so you don't have to retype all their information on the members tab. You'll be able to just move them over because you already have it. Right. Then there's this new member welcome tab where you can create a custom welcome message. So once you have a member who is brand new, you can welcome them to the site. And this will kind of be their, their invitation to join the site. The site will give them will send an email. I think there'll be a system generated email that goes to a new member, and they need to opt in to the site in order to start, in order to be able to access the site, create their login, and get all the member access. If they don't opt in, they will eventually be removed, and I think they would just have to be added again. So I would encourage you, when you have a new member, just make sure that they are opting in so that they can get all the information on your site. Oops, sorry. All right, so those are all the sections on the site I wanted to go over tonight. As promised, I have a few links here for additional support if there's something we didn't go over or something I wasn't able to answer. The first site here is where you will go to request a site if you do not already have one. So it's just toastmastersclubs.org. I think it's a simple form that you fill out. If you have a specific question about something on your site you don't know how to do, this is the support site that has those Toastmasters, those volunteer Toastmasters who are there to help you. There is a forum on there. You can ask questions. You do have to have a login and password in order to access the forum. My experience has been that they are very responsive. So if you ask a question, they do get back to you very quickly. This third site is just a site I found that had additional tips and tricks. Probably repeating a lot of what I said tonight, but there's a few other things on that site that you could look at as well that maybe I did not cover tonight. And I just added one of those sites that I shared in the beginning. I just added their address so that if you wanted to look at it a little closer to see what they've done, I will admit that I looked at this site and I did steal something from their site to add onto ours because I thought it was very well done. So you can get inspiration from other sites as well. So David could either share those links in the chat, you can jot them down here, or I believe David's going to be adding the slides to the chat.
I did.
For people to use.
There with the link. You should be
all right,
good.
Awesome. Great, thank you. And I do plan on posting it to the district site as well, because there is a page that has this training on it already on our district site. And I was going to add this video, this training video, and my accompanying slides. But that is all the information I had for tonight. I didn't want this training to be too long, so we did manage to getting it in under an hour. But if there are any remaining questions at this time, we have an additional 10 minutes so we can go through it.
I want to mention, I went to International Convention this past year, and there was a session on a website and promotion and stuff like that. And one thing I thought was interesting, and my club hasn't done it yet, is the pictures on the site. They suggest more action shots and video versus like people standing in a group. That was one thing that I thought was really interesting, just because people are seeing action and some progress, if you will, and that probably isn't the right wording, but so I thought that was kind of interesting, because I know my site's got a lot of just people standing in a group, or I think someone holding the trophy wouldn't be horrible. It's showing something going, but the guy had suggested on the panel that think about that stuff.
Okay, so like how we have here, like just the picture of our club members, like maybe not that, but maybe something like
that isn't horrible. You got video, which is great. I mean,
yeah,
it depends on who's in your club. If there's somebody in your club that you had a picture of them speaking, even just that would be good. Or even you could even pose it. I thought about posing at my club just because I never remember. If you have someone in your club that's done speech contests, video a little bit of it or something, and like, a minute on it. I mean, no one's going to stand there for 7 minutes and watching someone's speech necessarily. So I think it's just a matter of just showing that there's stuff going on. I think was really the intent. So and also people put their profiles, make sure they're filled out too. So a whole bunch of stuff on so much of stuff outside of just in general that you can find on maximizing the site, because it is what it is, right? FreeToastHost is what it is. It's one of those things where it's not optimal. It's not like the best site you're going to find. And there's limitations even on a technical end.
Hmm.
But it's a resource.
Right.
This was great, Amy.
All right. So if no one has any other questions, I think we can end here. And feel free to contact me if you have any additional questions. I know I didn't put my contact information, but I mean, I am the district finance manager, so I think it's just DFM at b53pm.org or .com. I can't remember what the address is.
53TM, is it DFM? Is that what it is?
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so I'm available for questions if you want, or like I said, that support site, they're very helpful and they probably know a whole lot more than I do. But I thought this would help. I hope you took a little something away from it. One or two things that maybe will help you. And I think, was it Shirley? I'm sorry, whose question I did not get to or wasn't able to answer.
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to go back over things and I'll reach out to support. I appreciate
Okay.
everything. I got a lot out of it.
Can you
Okay,
go to
awesome.
the agenda page again, Amy? I know this. I don't know if this is.
So, yeah, I don't know. Should I do the settings one or should I go to the actual agenda page? Like this one or the admin console one?
Yeah, the admin console. See, the agenda for date is putting things like it says agenda for date, and
Oh, it's because I
perhaps
didn't change it.
no, I'm not asking you to change it, but maybe
Oh,
that's an idea for Shirley to say agenda for, and then you
yeah.
put square bracket date, square bracket. I
Okay.
don't. That's
Yeah, and then
that's
here
just
I
a
just change it.
suggestion. Clearly,
Yeah.
we encourage you to call support, but if you can put that agenda for date, yeah, I'm not asking you to change the date to a
Yeah, I
real
mean, this
date,
is
but
just a test.
I
It's a
think
test
that
anyway.
the square brackets with the word date in it might be
A solution. I appreciate that.
There it is.
possible solution for you.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, that works. That's cool. And you can probably format how it shows, right? If it's the
Yeah,
format of the date.
Yeah, this is all part of the this description tab, so you can make any kind of changes you want. Any kind of
I never
formatting
did
you
that.
want.
That's cool. That's good, Jim. I learned something from Jim too again.
All right, great. Well, I'll let you go 6 minutes early, and thank you all again for joining.